Hello everyone, welcome to MEIT Solution, the one-stop channel for learning digital skills for free. Guess what? In this particular playlist, I want to talk about how to design websites very easy with WordPress. So if you're the person who wants to learn how to design a website with WordPress, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel to get to wider beginners like you who also wants to learn this particular course. Now in this video I have these very important lectures to cover, which is the first one here is what the internet looks like. Do you actually know what's happening in the background when you use your phone to search for information online? I'm going to tell you that in the process of this class. Do you know what a domain is? Do you know what hosting is? And I'm going to teach you how you can create a free domain and hosting and start building your website straightforward. Now, other instructors might tell you before you get started you have to pay for your hosting and domain, but I'm going to teach you all of this for free. You're not paying a dime. All right, but when you want to build your real first website for a client who is interested in your service, you will have to pay for subscription for hosting and domain name. Now let's get started. Do you actually know what the internet looks like? I'm going to show you the picture on my next slide. Now can you see this is a client? I call this a client. It could be you, it could be I using my system or using my mobile phone or using my tablet to check for information on the internet, or even go online on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Do you actually know what's going on? The moment I search for that Instagram, or I am using their app or the Facebook app, whichever way, or I'm using Google to do what, to search for something online, do you know that this is the whole process that happens at the background looks exactly like this? Now, as I said earlier, this is you who is the client, and you're using this system or your tablet or your phone to pull information from these servers. Now that line that connects your system to these servers, that the whole of it is referred to as the internet. It could include your cables, underwater cables, your DNS, your ISPs. They are all referred to as what? Internet. That collective name catches that description called internet. All right, I explained this diagram one more time. This is you here at the comfort of your home, of your office, the church, anywhere. You take your device and you search for something. Make sure ensure you have data, because if you don't have data, whatever you're searching for is not going to pop out. So when you have data, you Google search something. What happens? That process is known as what is displayed on the screen here. You are actually sourcing out information from wherever the website is stored on this server. So anything you can virtually do online are mostly stored on what? Servers. Think of servers like big computers, huge computers that are meant to store websites, information, text, videos, music, and the rest. So when you're using your system to log into your Facebook account, you are actually pulling information from the Facebook server. Do you understand? I hope that process and explanation is very clear. Now if you want to understand it more, let me head to the next slide, which I have here. Now you can see these are more than one system. Let me say Mr. A is here, and I myself am here trying to make some researches on the internet, or I'm just trying to use the social media or do whatever kind of thing I want to do. Now whenever I open my browser and search for any information, that information is related to the ISPs. ISPs like internet service provider. They are your MTN, your Glo, your Etisalat, your Airtel, and stuff like that. They are generally called ISPs. Okay, it is just the name MTN that distinguish them from the other. So they are generally called ISPs. So you must have data in your phone, all right, before you can be able to access information with the aid of this ISP. If you don't have data in your phone, there's a screen that normally pops up, or something, network, something, I don't know, you should know it better. So when someone searches for information, using his computer, not only computer, your phone too. That information is related with the aid of the data you have, that is the data subscription, or is your 20 gig and stuff. With the aid of data you have, that information is being related to ISPs. ISP will now take that information you're searching to look for the right domain that has that particular information, but it has to pass it through a domain name system, a system that consists of different websites names on this server, so that it will be very easy to access it. Just imagine I want to log in to my Facebook account from a browser or from an app. The ISP takes that information where to the DNS. The domain name system will now start routing through all these servers to look for the one that is Facebook server, and once it gets to the Facebook server, it stops there. The IP address now enable communication from the server direct to my system, just with the aid of this ISP. That is why it's very important you have internet data. Once you have internet data, all of this information that is on the Facebook server will be related to you, the client, who is sourcing out for the information. So this is what happens at the background when someone say he's surfing the internet. You're virtually getting information from bigger computers. These bigger computers are meant to store websites, are meant to store videos and the rest. They are huge computers, significantly different from the one you normally, the personal computer you have. They have high processing speed, high storage capacity, and high memory access. So the domain name system is responsible for accessing this server depending on what you're searching, depending on what it gets from the ISP, which in turn is you, the user who is searching something. Okay, so the domain name system is a tool that actually searches all the whole server, and this is done so quick, immediate. All right, because of the presence of, back in the days when we wanted to surf the internet, that it could take time and the rest, but right now use of underwater cables, fiber optic cables have made the process so faster and so very easier that at the click of anything, that information is being displayed on your screen. So this is what is actually happening at the background. Your ISP you're using, be MTN, be Airtel, be Glo, takes that information you're searching for, it sends it to the DNS. Then the DNS is now responsible. The DNS is now responsible to check through all the servers. Once you check through all the servers and sees the one that carries that information you're searching for, once it locates it, what happened? It marks the IP address of that server, and also this is where you can communicate. That is why when you log into Facebook, you see the home page. You can click on the login, you can click on messages, you can click on any icon you find on Facebook. You are actually communicating with the exact location of that server from your device. That means if that server is located here, you are coming from that, the location of that server is being used to communicate with you. You understand? So that is how it is. Just like our MTN mast or your mast, whatever person you're calling in Lagos State, the closest mast is the one that will route information to the person's phone, so your phone can ring, then you communicate with. So why am I saying this? Location is very important when it comes server location, and also your system location is very important when you're accessing information from the internet. This diagram is as simple as this. You are the client here, you're checking through information from the internet. That information you're checking through will be sent to the ISP. The ISP is now the one who will be responsible for what? Forwarding that information to domain name system. The domain name system scans through all the servers to check the server that has the information that you are currently looking for. So what really does a website looks like? A website is just a combination of different files that are used to build it, but I'll be showing you an easy way through all of this. You don't have to code HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. You just use WordPress and you source out information from these servers, then build a website. So lastly, this is what you need to understand about domain name and hosting. I use this house as a very simple analogy to do what? To describe it. Now let's take, for instance, you bought a land. All right, you bought a land, and you built your house. That house is being built on your land, on your space. So the same thing with the domain. Before you build your website on any server, before you build your website on any server with the internet, you must ensure you have a domain. A domain name is the name of your website. For instance, like Facebook, the name of Facebook website was Facebook, then .com. Name of Instagram, once you search Instagram.com. So it's as if they have that name already on the internet. So it is that name that enables the domain. Remember I told you about the domain name system. It is that name that enables the domain name system to check through where a particular server is that contains information a client is searching for. I don't know if that is clear. Your space on the internet is your domain. And what can identify your space? Two things can identify your space. One, the name of your website. Two, the address of your website. Do you understand? So once someone gets the name to your website, you can also the address of that website is being released. The address of that website on the server is being released. That's what you use to communicate with clients and servers. Okay? But for your website to be live online, you need a computer, a hosting. We call that hosting. You need a computer that is going to make sure those computer never goes off. It never have a downtime. So these are high performance computer. Okay, so for your website to go live, you need to buy a hosting plan. So that's just the difference between hosting and domain. Domain is the name of your website, and your name of the website will have an address on the internet, which is on the server. Do you understand? So that the DNS can be able to search for it easily. Okay, but for that to be possible, for your website to be hosted live on the internet space, to be hosted live on that server, you need to buy what we call a hosting plan. The hosting plan is now responsible to make that website go live. The hosting plan is just like a computer, whereby that website is being stored, that anybody can access it, be it 3 o'clock, 00 hours, be it 4 o'clock, anybody can access that website, and the content of that website will be displayed on the person's screen. Hello guys, I'm sure you've watched to this particular point and you understand now what the internet is, what is hosting, what is domain, and how it works. So you pulling out, anybody pulling out information from your server simply means that person has your domain name, which is the name of your website, and you, the owner of the website, a website is already hosted live on that server. You've paid for a hosting plan that will make that website go live. So think of it as this house that is here. This house is your website. You have a space whereby this house is being built, and that space is called domain. You have a space on the server in which that website is being built, and that space is called a domain, and the name of your website is a domain name. Domain name is the name of your website. All right, then for that website to be live, that anybody can access, anybody can see, whichever way you want to use to promote it, there must be a computer that is hosting your website. All right guys, thanks for watching out to this point. The next thing we'll proceed on is how to get a free domain, get a free hosting, and then start building your website. I'll see you in the other video. Thanks guys.